5 years ago, my wife and I bought our first house. It wasn't perfect, not even close. The place was a fixer-upper: peeling paint, uneven ground, weeds taller than my waist. The backyard looked less like a yard and more like nature reclaiming lost territory. But we didn't care, because the moment we saw it, we pictured something else. Summer nights around a fire pit, gardens growing along the fence line, friends laughing under string lights, and the best part? The house sat on a hill with a deck overlooking the entire backyard. It felt private, peaceful, ours. So we worked hard. Weekends disappeared into sweat and dirt. We cleared decades of overgrowth, hauled branches until our arms shook, installed a 6-foot privacy fence board by board, regraded the land, reseeded grass, planted trees that we knew we wouldn't see fully grown for years. Every improvement felt like planting roots in our future. Until we met the neighbor's dog. At first, it was just staring. A pit bull next door, left outside all day. No toys, no owner, no interaction. Just sitting there, watching our back door. The first time we opened it, the dog exploded toward the fence, barking nonstop. Claws scraping wood, teeth flashing. It wasn't playful barking. It was relentless, aggressive, endless. The sound echoed straight up to our deck. Coffee mornings turned into adrenaline spikes. Conversations had to stop mid-sentence. Even relaxing outside felt tense, like waiting for an alarm to go off. I told myself it was temporary. Surely the owners didn't realize. I walked over to their house several times. Knocked on the door. No answer. Again the next day. Nothing. Finally, I left a polite note. "Hey, I'm your neighbor. The dog seems stressed and barks constantly when we're outside. Here's my number so we can work something out." Simple, friendly, reasonable. I watched from my window as someone, another neighbor, apparently a relative, walked up, grabbed the note, and took it away. No call, no message, no acknowledgement. That's when frustration started turning into something heavier. Helplessness. Weeks passed. The barking didn't stop. So eventually I called animal control. I hated doing it. Nobody wants to be that neighbor, but we couldn't even sit in our own backyard. They issued warnings. For a while, things improved slightly. Not perfect, but quieter. I convinced myself peace was possible. Then they got a puppy, a German shepherd, and everything fell apart. The pit bull became hyper-defensive overnight. The puppy learned fast. Every time our door opened, both dogs charged the fence like it was a war zone. Barking turned into a daily event. Morning, afternoon, evening. Sometimes 10 minutes. Sometimes 30. Sometimes longer while nobody was even home to bring them inside. Imagine stepping into your own yard and instantly triggering chaos. We stopped using the deck, stopped inviting friends over. The backyard we built with our own hands became unusable. And that hurt more than the noise, because it felt like something was being taken from us. That's when I started recording. Every time we went outside, phone in hand, videos, timestamps, logs. Part of me knew this was heading somewhere ugly. Eventually, we exchanged phone numbers. So I tried again. Text message. Hey, dogs have been barking for about 10 minutes. No response. Another day. Another message. Another wait for someone to come home and let them inside. This became routine. Daily stress. Daily interruptions. And slowly, patience ran out. I avoided filing a city complaint for as long as possible because that meant court, time off work, conflict that couldn't be undone. But one evening, standing on our deck while barking drowned out our conversation yet again, I realized something. We had changed our lives to accommodate someone else's neglect. Enough. I filed the complaint. Court day. Walking into court felt surreal. I didn't want revenge. I just wanted quiet. When it was my turn, I handed over everything. Hours of footage, logs of dates and times, video after video of non-stop barking. The judge watched silently. The neighbor barely looked at me. Then came the ruling. Fines, official warning, and one clear statement. If it continues, the dogs will be removed. For the first time in years, I felt heard. Almost overnight, things changed. Now, whenever the dogs started barking, they were rushed inside. Doors slammed. Voices shouted angrily in our direction. But honestly, I didn't care because it was finally quiet. Our backyard belonged to us again. And that's when something unexpected happened. I discovered a petty side of myself. I started spending a lot more time outside. A lot more. Bird feeders went up. I bought a smoker and started slow cooking barbecue on weekends. Gardening became a daily hobby. Sometimes I'd just walk around the yard, doing absolutely nothing. And every single time, the dogs would react. They'd bark. The neighbors would rush outside, drag them in, and slam the door. Then the barking continued, from inside their house. Loud, echoing, constant. Exactly the way we had lived for years. And standing there, flipping burgers or refilling birdseed, I realized something. I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was just enjoying my yard. But now they had to live with the noise they ignored for so long. One afternoon, I heard shouting through their closed door, frustrated voices trying to calm two barking dogs. And for the first time in years, I felt peace. Not cruel happiness, not anger, just balance. They finally understood. The stress, the interruption, the constant tension. I didn't like that the dogs were caught in the middle. They were never the villains. Neglect was. But hearing that chaos contained within their own home instead of ours, it felt like justice. Quiet, petty, perfectly legal justice. Now our backyard is alive again. Friends come over. We sit by the fire pit at night. Birds gather at feeders every morning. And sometimes, when I step outside and hear movement next door, I know exactly what's happening. Dogs barking, owners scrambling, doors slamming. The same cycle we endured, now theirs to manage. I never yelled, never escalated. I just reclaimed my space. And somehow, that made the revenge even sweeter. Funny thing about karma, it doesn't always arrive dramatically. Sometimes it shows up quietly, when you finally stop tolerating disrespect and start living your life again. And sometimes the best revenge isn't hurting someone back, It's simply refusing to be miserable anymore. If this story made you smile even a little, hit that like button and let me know in the comments. What's the pettiest, but totally justified, revenge you've ever seen? And don't forget to subscribe for more real stories where karma always finds its way back. See you in the next one.